In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a worm's eye view cityscape, so looking up at the sky with a vanishing point and some perspective lines. So as we can see in this real photograph taken from worm's eye view in a city, all of the lines of the buildings go up towards a vanishing point that happens in the sky. So all of the lines from the sides of the building and the windows all go towards one point to make the buildings look like they're going up into the sky. For this week, we'll need a piece of paper, a pencil, and something that has a straight edge, like I'm using a piece of thick paper, but you can also use the edge of a book or a piece of cardboard or anything that you can find that's kind of long. An eraser is also pretty helpful, but you don't necessarily need one. I'm going to start by adding my vanishing point right in the center of my paper. That's where all my buildings will go towards. So I'm going to go around my paper and just start making little marks so I know where I want my buildings to be. So I'm just adding these little lines to show the sides of my building. So on each edge of the paper, not in the middle of the paper, I'm going on the edge. I'm just making some marks, so 2 sides to every building so that I know where to start from. So I'm going to start with one side of my building. So I'm choosing the building on the bottom and I'm going to match up my straight edge with the bottom line that I made and the vanishing point. I drew a line up to the vanishing point, but it didn't go all the way there because I wanted to stop it to make the top of my building and not have to erase. So the top of my building is a straight horizontal line, and then the other side of my building is going to go on a diagonal into that vanishing point. Same on this side, I will match up the little line I made and the vanishing point and then draw a line to both sides, and then I can connect those with a line that matches the side of the paper, which happens to be vertical up and down. So now we have 2 buildings from different sides, and you can even take it a step farther and make something else on top of that building. Like right here, I made 2 little marks to make a little section of the building that comes straight up. But I still use my vanishing point to make sure that it follows the same perspective lines. So with this next building, it actually is on the corner. It's a little bit hard to see because I went out of the frame from the camera, but I'm using 2 lines that are on the outside of a corner of my paper and matching them up with the vanishing point. But for this one, I'm going to add a 3rd line from the corner up to the vanishing point, and I'm going to then match it with the 2 different sides of the paper. Because it falls on the corner, I can't have just one straight line. I have to have 2. One that is horizontal like the top of the paper and one that is vertical like the other side. So with that one, I have 2 sides of my building, not just one like the other 2 buildings that I've already drawn. So I'm going to keep going around and just do the same for each of the buildings as I make my way around the paper. With this next building, I matched one side up with the vanishing point, and then the other one, I just kind of drew a line, and then I noticed it looked wrong right away. So I went back and fixed it and erased that line. It's okay to make a mistake, just make sure that you are trying your best to always look back to that vanishing point. So now that I've finished, I decided I wanted to make some of my buildings a little bit more interesting. So with this one, I'm going to make different layers. I added some lines that come to the vanishing point, just like the one below it, but it's a little bit smaller. So it looks like it's stacked. And I'm gonna do it on this building too. So I'm still matching with my vanishing point and making my building a little bit taller, but instead of using the edge of the paper, I'm using the top of the other stacks of the building. Now I can add some clouds and some final details, maybe even some windows, and I am all done for this week. So remember, this does take a lot of time and you do not need to finish this week. So when you submit your artwork, just send me where you are, and you don't need to add any color, just use some pencil. Can't wait to see it.